Thank you, Madam Chair. As ranking member of the Election Subcommittee and the representative of Alabama's Civil Rights District, there's nothing more important to me than ensuring that every eligible voter can register to vote and cast their ballot without facing unnecessary barriers. But far too often, Americans have to jump through unnecessary hurdles to try to make their voices heard. Ever since the 2020 election, the American people have been bombarded with misinformation, disinformation about the integrity of our elections, lied to about the rampant voter fraud, and misled by false claims that the 2020 election was stolen. To make matters worse, state legislatures have used every tool in their toolkit at their disposal to enact new barriers to the ballot box. Just this year, 47 state legislatures attempted to pass 469 restrictive bills to make it even harder to vote. Many of these new laws were created to fuel the false narrative that our elections are not secure. Today, we are here to talk about the potential updates to the National Voter Registration Act, a law passed in 1993 with the goal to increase voter participation. The NVRA is a critical component to our federal voting legislation, and it provides vital access and protections to voters, as well as guardrails for election officials to conduct voter maintenance. I believe that proper voter list maintenance is an integral part of an election administration, but too often we have seen anti-democratic purges of eligible voters conducted in the name of valid list maintenance. And extremists will stop at nothing to try to convince the American people that non-citizens and dead people are voting. For example, in my home state of Alabama, our Secretary of State proudly proclaimed one day, day one of his administration, that he was removing Alabama from the Electronic Voter Registration Information Center, or ERIC, a nonprofit, nonpartisan membership organization of states that has proven to be one of the most effective tools for helping election officials maintain accurate rolls. Unfortunately, our Secretary of State gave into conspiracy theories and withdrew Alabama from that organization with no plans for how he was going to replace that level of voter list maintenance information. To make matters worse, Secretary Allen was sued in the fall of 2024 after he attempted to conduct an illegal voter purge program ahead of the 2024 election, one that threatened to deny thousands of qualified citizens in Alabama their right to vote. As we discuss any potential updates to the NVRA, we must ensure that they are balanced and that we ensure that we balance protecting access to the variety of voter registration opportunities and ensuring eligible voters are not purged from the rolls with proper voter list maintenance. We all want cleaner voter rolls, and that requires thoughtful and deliberate approach. In July, this committee held a hearing reviewing voter list maintenance standards, during which one of the Republican witnesses stated that, quote, "It has never been easier in the United States to register to vote as it is today." It is true that it's easier to register to vote today than it was in 1993 when the NVRA was passed. However, at the same time that hearing, we heard from Mary Kay Hilling of North Carolina about just how many barriers she faced in trying to remain on the voter rolls, despite being a lawfully registered voter. Mary Kay said that it told us the story of how long it took her to be counted as to stay on the voter registration rolls. I say all this to say that while there are many ways in which we can update the NVRA, we must first acknowledge the fact that there is no widespread voter fraud and that the 2020 election was secure and that too many voters still face barriers to the ballot box. In fact, instead of making sure every voter can register to vote and cast their ballot, the President and this administration continues to undermine voter confidence in our election while attempting to circumvent the Constitution and erect barriers to voting. Voters in Alabama, like everywhere else, continue to face many barriers to the ballot box than voters in other states, and that is not democracy at work. No one benefits when eligible voters are unlawfully purged from the rolls. Every effort should be made to ensure, before anyone is deprived of their right to vote, that all laws are followed and that the person being removed is a person who should be removed. I look forward to the hearing today, and I do look forward to talking about some updates that we can have, like automatic voter registration and same-day registration in states like Alabama, which won't have it unless we actually mandate it nationally. But I want to commend the chairwoman for having today's hearing and thank all the witnesses for being here, and I welcome your testimony. Thanks.